Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fake Love and Flying Monkeys podcast. My name's Nova Gibson and I am your host. My area of expertise is in supporting victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse and other toxic relationships. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling Service, and I'm also the author of Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about everything from the initial pink cloud you find yourself on at the start through to the horrific discard and the powerful trauma bond that keeps you hooked. So take your imaginary seat on the roller coaster that is narcissistic abuse, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Now, Christmas is just around the corner, and from speaking to so many of you who have come to see me or come to talk to me on Zoom in my counseling practice, I know that many of you are nervous because you have to see the narcissist in your life. Perhaps it's a narcissistic mother or a narcissistic father, and you've been doing really well. You've been managing your boundaries, keeping your distance, going grey rock, minimal contact, but you just can't negate that history, that tradition that says that you've all got to be in the same room with Uncle Bob and Mum and Dad and perhaps the toxic sibling whom you were pitted against your whole life. There's Christmas and you would just feel too guilty in going no contact at that time. So you think you're pulling on your big boy or your big girl pants, and you bite the bullet and you say to yourself, okay, it's one day. I can do it for one day. For the sake of everyone else and for the sake of tradition and history, I can see the narcissist. Now, of course, you're not calling them the narcissist at that stage, or maybe you are. Maybe you have had your light bulb moment. You know who and what they are, but you just can't manage to stay away from them at those particular times of year. You haven't quite gotten there yet, or maybe you think you can manage those times and your boundaries are strong enough this time and you've got the right tools and strategies in place to be able to get through the day. So for explanation's sake, I'm going to use the example of, well, to begin with, a toxic mother, or maybe it's a toxic father, a toxic parent at the very least. So you've got the narcissistic mother who is expecting you to be there. They know that you would just feel too guilty in staying away. So perhaps they're hoovering you, or maybe they're sending out the flying monkeys by way of all your aunts and your uncles, because your toxic parent knows that you're trying to maintain your distance. And so they send out their flying monkeys to get you to attend. So you've had the pressure on you to go wherever it is that everyone's going, to be there for Christmas Day. And you bow to the pressure and you say yes. So your toxic parent knows that they put just the right amount of work in to get you to succumb to the old fog, fear, obligation, guilt, because you only get one parent, right? And it's Christmas after all. And they will also be putting the manipulative pressure on the other parent, your enabling parent to the abuse. So if it's your mother, they perhaps will, produce the crocodile tears to your other parent. And then your other parent will be used as the flying monkey. So you will be getting messages, phone calls along the lines of, oh, come on, surely you can put your differences aside for one day. It's Christmas and your mother's been in tears, and I really think that you can be the bigger person. Now, despite their enabling behavior and really never protecting you from that abusive, toxic parent, you still love your other parent, and you don't want them to get in trouble. You also don't want to upset them. So once again, the narcissist has used their manipulative strategies to get their flying monkey, to get you on board to attend the habitual, traditional Christmas get-together. Now, whether you're really feeling strong this time, you can get through it. It's just one day and you're going to do it for the other parent. You're going to be the bigger person, or you really are just feeling so empty and traumatized by the guilt of not seeing your family at Christmas time. Whether it's either of those situations or those feelings, those emotions that you are having, the narcissistic parent is 10 steps ahead of you. When they get you to attend Christmas Day and they know that you have been trying very hard to put those boundaries in place and maintain some kind of distance, that Christmas celebration, in inverted commas, is meant to be a day of punishing you. So you will be told that it's a day when everyone can just let the past be in the past, and it'll be the start of new beginnings, and everyone can just put these little differences aside. In other words, they will have absolutely no accountability, no responsibility whatsoever for the huge betrayals, acts of abuse that were the reasons that you were going no contact to begin with. Under the guise of it's Christmas, let's just celebrate and be a family and let all that stuff go. Under that guise of love and wanting to move forward as a family, they will get you in the same room so they can enact what they really want to have happen, which is to get your reactions, to punish you, and to get that drama and attention. The toxic environment that you would have remembered from many Christmases in the past, because of course, narcissists love to ruin special occasions. Now remember, this just doesn't have to be the narcissistic mother. This can be anyone. It can be the narcissistic sibling or the narcissist in-law. Perhaps it's the wife of your brother or another family member, whomever you're trying to go no contact, grey rock from. So let's say once again, it's the toxic mother and they've got you pinned down. They've got you to say yes. So then, remaining unaccountable for their abuse, they're ringing you. Oh, can you bring this? Can you bring that? Now, look, we're going to start at this time and this person is doing this and I really need you to do that. And they'll be giving you all these jobs and acting like nothing happened. And how frustrating, confusing is this, that you really do want to have a happy, wonderful Christmas, but this person abused you and they have just seemingly let it go like nothing happened. And here they are telling you how to make the eggnog or how to bake the ham and bring that on Christmas Day because that's what you've been told to bring, and it's going to be at their house, and all of the other relatives perhaps that you have now been advised the recipients of a smear campaign and have also been talking badly of you. You've got to see all of them too and liaise with them around what's going to happen on Christmas Day, because even though every year it turns out the same with people fighting and all the attention being on the narcissist and perhaps people getting inebriated, which makes the arguments even worse, even though every year it turns out the same. This is meant to be, and it's spoken about as if it's this monumental family tradition which holds so much meaning that you would be the terrible person who should hide their head in shame if you do not turn up and help out and put in an appearance because you're part of that toxic family dynamic. Now, when I say this is confusing for the victim, perhaps the victim, adult, child, it's meant to be confusing. You think about it with perspective on the other side of the circle. Here, this person has treated you like garbage your entire life. There's always been emotional abuse, neglect there. You've never been able to please them. You've always felt obligated to tolerate the way they treat you and make you feel so bad. And yet here they are making out that Christmas is this wonderful, happy occasion where everyone gets together and celebrates being part of such a wonderful, strong family with such a strong bond and connection. That really reinforces the cognitive dissonance that you would have had your entire life as a child and now as an adult, with this parent making out like this family of yours is just something amazing, because that's the image they want to portray to the rest of the world. And of course, you know differently behind closed doors. It feels awful, but that's the message they send out. So it is confusing, and it's meant to be when they're talking about the strength and the bond in your family, and really all you feel is toxicity and negativity. Narcissists have to be in control, and of course they are going to want to be in control at Christmas time, especially if they're the matriarch or the patriarch of the family. They will be the ones calling the shots. And if you have a difference of opinion, or if you want to do things differently, you will soon be made to feel guilty about wanting to have some other plan on Christmas Day that doesn't align with their plans. Now, once again, this can be any member of the family, but one I tend to hear quite often is the spouse or the partner of a sibling. So let's say it's your brother. Okay, and you actually love your brother, and you've always had quite a close, loving bond with your brother, but their spouse, their wife is so toxic. You've worked out long ago that she hates the family and she's been trying to isolate your brother from the rest of the family. And of course, you've had your light bulb moment and you've worked out that she's a narcissist, but your brother is trauma bonded, and you've tried a few times to talk about his toxic wife, and this has not gone down well because she has 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to manipulate him and strengthen the trauma bond he has to her. And of course, when you say something bad in his eyes, which she will have told him you are going to say, and that's because you don't like her, it reinforces what she is saying, and it puts a wedge between you and the brother that you love. So you go to Christmas at her place, at his place, and you know that the barbed compliments will come, or the insults under the guise of, you know, being a joke. They will come thick and fast, and that toxic sister-in-law will be so controlling. You will come at this time, you will bring this food, and you will be nice to all the people that I invite. And if I don't approve of perhaps your partner, or, you know, one of your children, or just someone that you love, you're going out with maybe, you're not allowed to bring them. They will be calling the shots. But this is just the day that they really get to show their true colors. But it's Christmas. So you, through that fear, obligation, and guilt, and not wanting to lose your brother, knowing that she has all the control, you go. And you can't wait to get the hell out of there. Now, guys, if you're one of those people who have just started listening to podcasts like mine, or reading blogs and watching videos on YouTube, and you're still not quite sure, despite all the evidence you've been able to accumulate, then I want you to trust your instincts in what you're seeing, what you're reading, what you're hearing, because a loving mother, a loving father, a loving sister-in-law will not make you feel guilty, horrible, if you, one Christmas, want to make different plans. If perhaps you wanted to go to another country just for something different, to see the snow, if that's not normal for you, or maybe it's that you want to go to the other side's family for Christmas. If you're married, you want to go and spend the alternate Christmas with them, because that's fair, right? And you get the cold shoulder, you get the silent treatment because you're letting down that family member, and that family of your spouse, they don't do anything for you. So why are you putting them first? In other words, they will put the guilt trip on you, saying things like, well, that's it, we're canceling Christmas and it's all your fault, and I hope you're happy with yourself. They do this until you renege, and you know that your spouse's family are normal, and they will go, look, that's okay. You know, you go wherever you think you need to go. We can have Christmas the night before or the next day, but you do what's right for you. You know they will respect your boundaries, and so you go. And the narcissist, the sulking, petulant child who has just spat their dummy on the ground, I think you call it a pacifier in the States, they've got what they want, and they're all smiles. And this, once again, is so frustrating for you, but it's easier just to give in, because what you would have had reinforced in you, or you may have reinforced in yourself to be able to survive this abuse, is thoughts like, it's just one day and it's Christmas. I can be the bigger person. Guys, when you submit to this type of extortion, really, or just blackmail, manipulation at its finest, you are not being the bigger person. Well, you are, but only because you are always the bigger person. I hate when people say that. It does not make you a big person, a bigger person, to let someone abuse you and manipulate you, knowing that they're doing it. That does not make you a bigger person. It makes the narcissist happy, and it increases your feelings of hopelessness, and your self-worth plummets. That's what it does. You do not have to be the bigger person by allowing someone to abuse you. That does not make you bigger. It makes them more manipulative, toxic, and abusive. So you go wherever it is, at your toxic parents, or at the toxic mother-in-law or father-in-law perhaps house, at the toxic sister-in-law or brother-in-law or aunt, wherever it is. And what happens? The same thing that happens every Christmas. The toxic parent will do something to create some kind of drama. Now, this can be manufacturing conflict out of nothing, waiting very patiently till everyone had just had the right amount of champagne or eggnog, when they're more likely to erupt after the narcissist pokes and pokes and pokes them. And the narcissist will manufacture some kind of conflict. Why have you been going no contact? Well, of course, they're not going to say that. Why are you not calling me? Why are you distancing yourself? Was I not a good enough parent? What did I do wrong? And you know what? This time you have just the right amount of that Dutch courage in your belly, the old champagne or whatever it is they wanted you to imbibe. And you know what? You give it to them. You tell them, well, you did this and you did that. You're not lying. You finally have the courage to tell them. And you know what? They asked you, and you answer their question. And of course, there it is. There's the drama. The toxic parent will start crying. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I wasn't a good enough mother or a good enough father. I'm sorry, you had such a terrible childhood. And perhaps they'll run into a bedroom, or if they don't cry, they'll just become very, very quiet for the rest of the day. Everyone tippy-toes around them. Maybe now they're throwing you daggers with their glares and their stares. Did you have to stir up, mum? And of course, then the guilt sets in, and that mother or father now has everyone crowded around them. Are you okay? Look, no, of course not. No, you weren't a bad parent, and you're the bad guy because you wound your mother up. Now, that's just one example, and I would love to know how the narcissist who managed to get you there, I'd love to know how they ruined Christmas and created some kind of drama. Another example might be the gift giving. Maybe they told everyone, or told you, not to bring presents. We're not doing gifts this year. And of course, you believe what they say and you turn up there with no gifts. But then you see everyone else arriving and they've all got a gift under their arm. And you really are clear that you've been set up. Why? Why did they do this? You approach that parent or that toxic brother or sister-in-law. What? You told me it was no gifts. Oh, well, look, I know that, you're low on funds at the moment, and, we changed our mind. And really, now that they were setting you up to look bad. Or they may have done the same thing with food, told you, oh, yeah, no, just bring yourselves, don't worry about it. But everyone else comes laden with these amazing dishes and looks at you like you're Scrooge because you came empty-handed. Or maybe you just came with some little, token box of chocolates or something that everyone frowned on because they'd put so much effort into. There's so many ways the narcissist sets the day up to be ruined. Maybe the narcissist is someone that you're still with at the moment. Perhaps it's a partner and they want to ruin your Christmas. So they put on a performance just before you're about to walk out the door. Why are you putting all of that time into cooking that for your family? They never do anything for us. Or maybe they'll just say something horrible and nasty about the family they know you love just as you get in the car. And of course, this makes you angry. It makes you frustrated. They're saying things like, that uncle of yours, if they're there, they better not look twice at me, or I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a fight because I can't stand him. Or if your mother gives me the evil eye one more time because I don't wash up the dishes the right way, I'm leaving and I'm never going to another Christmas at their house again. Whatever it is, they will preempt an argument with you and, of course, with your family who aren't narcissistic, but they want to ruin your day. And they also want you to defend your family. So if they're there saying horrible things about your family, and of all days, on Christmas Day, you are going to react. Don't you dare talk about my family like that. Or if you don't react, if you are able to hold on to it, you're going to feel resentful. Get that eggnog into you, you're more likely to erupt. There are just too many examples, but what I want you to remember, guys, is that it's never a coincidence. If you can go no contact and start making new memories and having Christmas somewhere where you feel happy and special, even though it breaks tradition, remembering that tradition has always been horrible. Just because we've done something over and over and over again doesn't make it right. History, lots and lots of history, does not mean that we have to do that very thing again. We're allowed to start new traditions, and the people who make you feel guilty or make you feel like you've got to give them a 10-page email explaining why you want to break the toxic tradition, they're the very people that you need to be able to get away from at Christmas. They're the very people you need those boundaries for. And you owe those toxic people, no matter who they are, you owe them nothing. And you certainly don't owe them an explanation. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Now, I really wanted to do that episode, guys, because Christmas is coming, and I'm going to do probably 2 or 3 more episodes talking about hoovering and different types of relationships at Christmas, to hopefully prepare you and give you strategies to manage the toxicity at Christmas time with a narcissist. But please remember your worth. And if you would like to have a one-on-one Zoom counseling session with me, I am a professional counselor. No matter where you are in the world, please see the description or the link in the description, I should say, for my website, and you can contact me there via email. On that note, guys, please also look out for my best-selling book, which you can also find a link to in the description, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. And please share this podcast, guys. That's the best thing you can do to help. And also what you can do to help and support the channel to keep on going is to give it a rating and a review. That's what helps it. That and sharing helps to put it out in the algorithm. On that note, it's bye from me for now. Until tomorrow's episode, remember, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.